My boyfriend has been getting jealous of my audiobooks because I have a voice thing and has given me an ultimatum to quit listening to Twilight or he quits our relationship. My boyfriend and I have been together for around 3 years, and we've had a pretty easygoing relationship. No big fights or anything until now, which is why I'm questioning myself so much. So I listen to audiobooks, not erotic ones, though I sometimes dabble into audio-only naughty content because this becomes important later. I have a thing for nice voices, but somehow someone just reading smut off a page feels weird for me to listen to. No judgment to anyone else, of course. Just not my thing. My boyfriend has recently gotten a bug up his ass about me listening to them, especially when he's home, even though I always use headphones and do my best not to disturb him. Also, before anyone says it, my subscription comes directly out of my own bank account. He has no reason to think it will affect his finances. Anyway, he only ever gave little snide remarks until the latest time, so I let it go. Most recently, I'd been making us dinner and cleaning up behind myself as I did it. And because he was playing video games, and I get bored doing those kinds of things without something else to think about, I turned on my favorite audiobook and picked up where I had been listening the week before. I didn't realize he was in the kitchen until he jerked the cord on my headphones and asked if I was doing it again. I asked what he was talking about, and he just sighed and said that he needed to talk to me. We sat down, and I'll admit, I was pretty pissed he had jerked on my headphones and not super willing to listen to anything right then. Another reason I might be in the wrong. He said that it really bothered him when I listened to audiobooks from a man's perspective because he knows about my voice thing and that it makes him uncomfortable. I asked why, and he said that he couldn't get it out of his head, that I was thinking intimate things about the characters, and that along with the romantic elements made him really upset and felt almost like I wasn't fully committed to him. I asked if he realized I was listening to a book for teens written by a literal Mormon and that none of the books I listened to have smut. He said that it didn't matter and started getting angry again, which just made me angrier, and he dropped the ultimatum that he wanted me to stop or else we would need to break up. I was so pissed at this point that I just shrugged and said gladly, "The minute you stop watching Korn, I'll never touch any of it again." This had him pissed because he claimed he never said anything about Korn, only the romantic and intimate parts of the books I listened to. I said that if he was allowed to make ultimatums of favorite pastimes, why can't I? Then I asked if he would rather give up video games since that's closer to what audiobooks mean to me. He ended up just saying to effing forget it and went to bed, but has been pissed at me since. I talked to my friends about the situation and got mixed answers, so I wanted to try with strangers as well. What do you think? Relevant comments. Comment 1. This is a big red flag to me. Is he so insecure that he can't stand the idea of you listening to, gasp, another man? You weren't even listening to anything provocative when he did this, and he had that kind of reaction. Where is all his anger coming from? The fact that he dropped an ultimatum, books for Pete's sake, or breaking up is insane to me. This seems like such an odd thing for him to want to have control over. You're wearing headphones, not listening to it on speakerphone, and you're minding your own business, and he has the audacity to be upset you're doing that. Personally, I would cut ties. But if you feel like he's a good partner to you in other aspects and he isn't controlling about other things you do, i.e., what you wear, who you hang out with, etc., then maybe try talking it out when he's calm. Response. He did try to explain that he felt as if I reacted to the romantic parts in ways I don't react to him, which almost made sense. But then all I can think is, yeah, of course, I do. This kind of romantic thing doesn't exist in real life, and I don't expect it to. But to hear about it is enough to make me blush or laugh because it's cute. I've never expected him to be an over-the-top romantic. I don't think I would enjoy it in real life. It would more than likely overwhelm me, but I do like to hear about it, I guess. This part does make me feel a little bad because at the time, I was so angry about the headphone pulling. I don't know why it set me off so bad. No one has ever done it to me before, but for some reason, it had me pissed. I couldn't even react to it like I should have. I honestly maybe should have asked to wait the more I think about it. Comment 2. He's crazy, and anyone that tells you otherwise is crazy. You were cooking and cleaning while he was playing. If he's so insecure about a random guy reading a book, then maybe he could have been in there working on dinner with you. You were being neglected, so, of course, you got bored. Note, sure, it's okay for one person to work while the other chills as long as it's not always the same person and as long as it works for the relationship. He could have hit you company. He could have been the voice in your ear. He could have fought his insecurity by coming up behind you and kissing your neck and taking your mind off the book. Something sexy. But he decided the best choice was to be as unsexy as possible and aggressively jerk your headphones and whine. You can see the red flags, right? You don't need us, right? Response. I usually cook for us. He can't cook worth a damn, and I enjoy it, so I do that. He does other chores, though. I hate doing anything in the bathroom, but he doesn't mind, so anything to do with that is his, and he takes care of the garbage in the car. I mostly handle anything in the kitchen and laundry and such. I wish he would do something like that, but he's just not spontaneous or really romantic. I don't mind it really. Most guys aren't, and he's great in other aspects. When it comes to red flags, I didn't think of it in that way, but I can tell you it certainly made my temper spike in a way it hasn't since I was in high school. Reply. I'm not using the internet's favorite word, run, but he was acting crazy. My point wasn't really about the division of labor. I didn't know what that was between you two, but more about what he could do to try to overcome his insecurities and to give you a chance to show him that you are fully committed. If he lets his insecurities consume him and takes it out on you, then that's just going to get worse and more toxic over time. Maybe this argument will end up blowing over, and you'll forget it and never deal with this problem again. But if you were my Earl friend, then I'd be a bit worried for you. He needs to figure out how to deal with these feelings and how to communicate properly. Response. I do try very hard to show my commitment to him, but there may be some wires crossing in our communication. I'm an acts of service person more than anything, including words, but maybe I can try something else. If he needs to hear me say the things I'm feeling out loud more often than I do now, then I can do that. I don't mind changing tactics to make him more secure in the relationship if that's what he needs. I don't mean to make him feel insecure. The more I think about my reaction, the more guilty I feel because at first, it was how dare try to take things away from me. But now it's more sure. That was a shitty way to bring it up, but it sounds like he's been really bothered, and I just got defensive and mean instead of listening to him at all. But then I get mad about the jerking my headphones thing again. I really don't know why, but that shit made my blood boil. It's complicated, and it's hard for me to know what to do. Update. So it's been a while. I didn't think I would update because the original update would have been mostly us talking and working things out, agreeing that whenever he felt insecure, he could tell me, and I could focus my attention on him for a while. It worked really great. Well, until I found out he had been banging his coworker, that is. I don't have the details. I don't want the details, but he admitted to it in the end, so he did it. That's enough. He wanted to work it out and apologized, begged for a second chance. But honestly, the idea that he said a word to me about an audiobook about Edward frigging Cullen while he was getting strange on the side, it killed any opportunity for forgiveness I had inside of me. It was so ridiculous. I laugh thinking about it now, and it's been a month since we broke up. Like, it makes me feel insane. It is so funny. He was yelling at me for listening to a book about Mormon vampires while he was cheating on me. I cannot make this up. 100 points to whoever said projection the first time I posted. I can't remember if it was a comment or a message, but you were right. I wish I had a cookie. Thanks for the help anyway. Even if the relationship is a bust now, I really do appreciate you all.